You always hit
We don't have an intro.
No. Intro?
That's how it's going to start.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's
how
going to start with, we don't have an intro.
We don't do intros.
We don't, yeah, fuck that.
Fuck intros.
Intros are stupid. Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Oh, man, we are busy boys.
Yeah.
We missed another tier list.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if there was like a valid reason for it or not. I'm sorry, I got to adjust this again.
Good job.
Well, I didn't want it to be like right in my face, you know?
I understand.
Yeah, we just completely didn't even talk about the podcast or the tier list whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, like last time I talked to Yo-Yo, he was like, "Yeah, I'm moving," and I was like, "I didn't even know that." So we're going through personal stuff. Personal stuff.
Personal stuff.
Yeah, so just fucking get over it. Fuck you. It's our channel.
Do what we want to.
That sounds mean, but
Eh.
Oh, that's I don't know if I've asked you this. I don't know why I thought of this, but would you rather
Oh God, I love these.
end every sentence by saying bitch, or end every sentence by saying but you know?
Probably bitch, because that's not much of a transition for me.
It's like, I do that anyway, bitch.
Yeah, I pretty much already, like, half the time, half my language is the word fucking bitch. I mean,
There goes our monetization ideas. No, I'm
yeah.
kidding. The hang 10 was not necessary. So, when I think about the would you rather thing, I always just imagine myself at a job interview. It's just like, yeah, I have this education level, I have degrees in this, I have this much work experience, and I'm very good with working in sales, bitch. Or the other side of the spectrum, which is like, I have this much work experience, have this degree in this thing, have worked in sales before, I'm really good with people, but
Yeah, I guess that one would be easier in that scenario.
If I were like a hiring manager, I'd just be like, I don't. What do I know? What? Tell me.
Yeah, so like either way.
But I know what.
Like, either way, you're kind of just.
Either way, you're not a good candidate anymore.
You're not a great candidate, but at least with the that one's at least not bitch.
Yeah, that's a little rough to just straight up end every sentence with bitch. Just like imagine like having any conversation with your family, like, or like new friends that you're meeting for the first time.
See, that would completely change what types of friends you would get, because you would not have a lot of people who can't handle like being called that. But like anybody who like I can already tell, like, there's plenty of women out there that are just like, you're ballsy for calling me that. I like you, and that just be that's the start of a great friendship.
Yeah.
Because I've met quite a few women like that who are just like, nope, I respect you for doing that. I like you, and then I basically just that's how I become friends with so many like 40 something year old women. Like all my jobs, it does not matter. I always become friends with them because of that type of thing. It's just like, I like you, and then they just like take me under their wing, and then I just continue on my day with my work.
I love getting called nephew by some of the older coworkers. I'm like, something about that's just really funny to me.
Yeah.
They're like, what's up, nephew? And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but what's up, dude? Oh
God, what was it that my mom, like, okay, so my mom, she's worked at her job now, like she's going on 10 years. And there's this guy who works there. He's been there for like 30 something. And I can't remember exactly. I'm trying to remember the exact name that he gave her by accident, like, because I think it was like Fran or something like that.
Okay.
And that's not her name. That's nowhere near her name. But she always thought he was just saying friend, like, hey, friend. No, he was saying like, hi, hey, friend, or something like that.
Fran.
It's just like, and she always like, she didn't ever want to tell him, because she always she felt like she would be rude by like correcting him, until eventually until eventually like one day, I think it was because when she was out because of COVID, like when she was in the hospital for that and everything, she had somebody sit there and tell him like what happened, and she was like, oh, that's not your name, I'm sorry. And he apologized to her and all that, and then he like still like sweet as hell.
I mean, good resolution. I'm glad it wasn't like, fuck you, like.
Oh, no. She was.
And they both got fired because they got into a fist fight,
In fact, she even sometimes will wonder how she's not been fired yet.
Yeah.
Because she used to have she used to have this one woman she worked with that was known. She called her chocolate chip. It's a whole thing, and just she'll sit there and like she'll be yelling at her.
I have to ask this: is it a race thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 100% like they're both just
They're good friends.
they're great friends, and that's what's so funny about it because she's just
I'm gonna grab some chapstick. Really
simply put. At one point, I got you. She one of their running gags was that they were gonna have. They were both women, and they always said that they had children. They always had a child together. It was a boy, and it was white with black stripes. So, I think I've told the story before, but I went to the store and got her a baby doll, and then painted it with black stripes, or she painted it with black stripes, and then gave it to her before her friend moved to Idaho because Sheetaho was the reason. It's not the actual reasoning, but
I
it
mean,
was like,
yeah.
But that was just like part of the running. Like they're just such good friends and everything. They'll just sit there and be yelling things at each other in the middle of work or walking by the office, and they're just like, "How are we not fired?" Yes, don't know.
This is gonna sound a little bit strange, but
Okay.
I think a lot of there's more workplace friendships being made in restaurants than there are anything else, because that is constantly what you're doing to each other at work.
Yeah.
Just like the hey fuck you, like that kind of like, you're getting out your
Yeah.
anger, but it's also like just it's a sense of humor thing,
Mhm.
and if you don't have that sense of humor, you don't fit into kitchens very well. But
Yeah.
like I've gone to like concerts with people I've worked with at restaurants. I've like hung out at their houses and stuff like that. And it's funny because it always spawns from like getting angry at each other, and then at the end of the day, it's like none of it really fucking matters because the day's over. So
Yeah.
like let's just chill in the parking lot and smoke cigarettes or whatever.
All right, I've had similar experiences. Like it's kind of almost the opposite. Like at all my production jobs, I've always had like some sort of friendship that are made. Like both my last two jobs, I can't do it here because I'm not friendly enough with the forklift drivers. Or at our current job, I can't do it. But at my last two, I was able to sit there and become friends with them. And the way it didn't matter which one it was. I would always be able to just sit there and flip them off, and that was how we said hello to each other.
Nice.
And that was just that friendship. And then, like I said, there's like the 40-year-old women who I've become friends with. And I remember my last job, I had this one really small little girl that I was friends with. She was older than me, but she was like tiny. And me and her had like the closest friend relationship, like coworker friendship, like work friendship.
Yeah.
But the second that like she got fired, like we didn't talk ever again.
Yep.
Because and that just I don't understand how that happens, but that just once you leave a job, you just don't talk to those people anymore for the most part. Like I have one friend from one of my last jobs, and that is it. And the only reason why I'm still friends with him is because I'm friends with his girlfriend.
Yeah, I haven't talked to any of the people that I worked in restaurants with in quite a while. Like there was the one guy that I was talking about when I picked you up, the guy who got into the military.
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Like he's probably one of the only people that I really still talk to from like working in kitchens, but I also knew him in high school.
Yeah,
Or
so
I've
that's a
known
little
him since high
different.
school. Yeah, so I don't know.
Like, and I guess that's also part for the one friend that I actually still talk to with at one of my last jobs. Like, I actually was dating his brother in high school, and I didn't realize it until after I had like started working with him and met him properly that they were related.
Oh,
So it was
really?
just like, oh, that's cool, because it was one of those like things where it's just like, oh, that's concerning.
Yeah.
Because you never know how that can go.
This is a super ADHD thing, but I realized I left my ring and my watch upstairs. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel weird.
Yeah.
I was like feeling my hands, and I was like, something's off. Like, one of my fingers came off. Help me find it. I think when we were setting up all the tripods, I just lost a finger.
But we just continue going like nothing was going on. Like, yep, this is totally normal.
Finally, just look down and then feel the pain of like losing a finger. Just
The adrenaline was pumping the entire time. No reason for adrenaline. It was just pumping.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
Most calm thing ever. It's like, oh, we might have to move the green screen back a little bit. Oh, that kind of sucks. And your finger's just bleeding profusely the whole time.
yeah.
God. You ever had like a really bad injury like that? Not losing a finger necessarily, but like anything up there is like a weird medical like oh shit moment.
No, not really. Actually.
Okay.
I've seen a couple because. Yeah, like my last job we used a lot of big saw. Like we didn't use them, but we put large roof racks, like the metal roof
yeah.
racks and everything. We would put those into machines that would cut them with big saws and everything, and both the metal itself and the saws were sharp. Yeah, one of my coworkers, like, he was an idiot, and he like the machine was like powered off or whatever, or it was like it just finished its cycle, and he was like reaching his hand in there to grab the part, and ended up like cutting his finger a little bit. Didn't end up losing it or anything.
Good.
Strange, like it was actually weird enough. About a week prior to that, a guy actually did, like, that actually happened to a guy, like,
Lost
and
his
then
finger.
and then a week later he almost did. It was like, Jesus, you need
It's
to
like
like
y'all
not do that.
fucking like chill, relax.
Yeah, like
Be patient.
like some things like it. Or that was not exactly the most safe job. Like it wasn't bad. It was no like it given like if given because of that job every day an OSHA manual would burst into flames because of the sheer existence of it. But
It's like the equivalent of like a demon walking into church.
like it just
A guy from OSHA shows up and just immediately catches fire.
yeah, like it was just like, and that's the guy who's investigating. It's like, so like, yeah, the factory just says like every day one manual just like bursts into flames when they don't know why, like, and it's all random, and we're really getting concerned. Like the insurance company thinks it's us, and it's not.
There's some OSHA office in like fucking Kentucky or some shit that's just like sitting there like looking through a manual and just
Yeah,
oh, what the fuck happened?
yeah, pretty much what happens, and it's just because like
And there's some guy who's like 900 years old. He's like, it came from Georgia.
it's
He's just like of second mind or some shit where he's just everything. He just knows all when it comes to OSHA.
Yeah. Like I remember one day, it was right after we had gotten back from COVID and everything, and so like we were actually trying to start back up. And I remember I was working first shift at the time, which I didn't like, because I know I'm not a first shift worker, but I was working there, and I was walking out, and it was like the end of the day, I think, and me and my mom, like my mom was right behind me, and I walked through a puddle of water because whenever it rains outside of that plant, it rains inside too, just a little bit. And there was a big puddle of water, and I ended up tripping and grabbed like the support beam basically, but it was like one of the H shaped ones.
Oh yeah.
And so when I did, my hand caught it and like slid, and it was old, so it was like I basically like cut my hand a little bit, and I was like, and I screamed "fuck," and like like my mom's right behind me. I was like, well, that happened, and then I just walked, and then I just walked into the break room because that's where we were going, and I just washed my hand off for a minute, and she's like, "You good?" And then she busted out laughing when she knew it was okay.
Good. I was gonna say that's one of those things where it's like if I had a kid and I heard them scream a curse word, like there's a certain tone where you're like something is wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like oh he said a bad word. It's like he is in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I always see I'm the type, like, if I did ever have kids, God forbid, if I ever did have kids, I would actually like I'm the type that would let them like swear.
Yeah.
Like I would like it'd just be like, don't be an idiot about it. Like you're gonna
Be
learn
respectful.
You're gonna learn when you
words
can and
exist.
can't do it. Yeah, you're gonna learn when you can and can't swear.
Yeah.
Like it start them off young, and then you don't have to worry about it later.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, if you just say like, "Hey, these are disrespectful words," and don't ever say them to an adult, you will be punished. You know.
It makes you want to say it. At least that's how I was after a certain point. I was just like,
really?
I want to say all the words.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because it's
no, but if you were like, "Here are the words, and here's kind of what they mean," not like, don't tell them what fucking is, but you know, like,
yeah,
it's like this word exists. It's a very rude word to say to adults. Don't say it to people that you should be respectful to.
Yeah, if you're gonna be be respectful. Don't say this unless unless I've said that it's okay to say it in certain situations.
Yeah.
And, that type of thing. It's really easy to be like, okay, these are the situations where you can say it, and these are the situations you can't. You know, it's simple.
I had a teacher in high school for I think 10th and 12th grade, or maybe 10th and 11th. I don't remember. I had him for 2 years, and I don't think they were consecutive. But anyway, super chill guy. Like we talked about music a good deal. He was big into like skate park punk and stuff like that. And I was like, this guy's pretty cool. He actually had a bunch of tattoos, and he
awesome.
hid them when he had his interview, and then rolled his sleeves up when he got the job, and like no one could say anything.
Oh, that's great.
But he was also like one of the most like loved and respected teachers in our school. So like they were like, well, we can't just like fire him for having tattoos.
Yeah, especially not at this point.
But yeah, I remember like we were in like little groups of 4. Like we had 4 desks that were kind of aligned to face each other. And our assignments would always be and then our assignment would always be like the four of us would work on a project while the four of these people work on a project, so on and so forth. And it was mostly just like he kind of had this mindset of like, you guys are adults in my eyes, so like I'm not gonna like make you raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Just don't be an idiot about it.
Yeah.
And like he was really like just he treated us like adults, which is a nice thing to have when you're a high school teacher.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, whenever you're in high school, that's like that immediately would like gain a lot of respect from a lot of students. I imagine. Like, I know I would respect them if a teacher treated me like that instead of, you're under my reign now. You're gonna do what I say. Like, it doesn't matter what age group that teacher is teaching. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah. The reason I brought it up though, I was about to lose it. Like he came over and he was talking to our group. He was just like, how's the project going along and stuff like that. And we got into some very niche conversation. I don't remember what it was, but I said a bunch of cuss words. Not even in like a oh fuck you. It's just like, yeah, that's really fucking interesting, man. I never thought of it. Just not thinking about really what I was saying. And he kind of like looked at me for a second. He's like, it's really interesting how you guys are growing up to just like not care about profanity.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really profound way to respond to a high schooler saying fucking cool. Like,
yeah, but when you think about it, I mean, it's true.
Oh no, he was absolutely right.
It's weird that
like the more we grow up, the more it's just like, dude, we don't care.
Yeah.
Because like what is it? I don't know.
I think that's a general thing in society. Like, for the most part, we're kind of getting to that point where it's just like we don't care their words.
Yeah.
Like, and plus they help us describe our feelings.
Yeah.
Because honestly, there's a difference between like. It's just at a certain point. There are times where I'm just like, the only way I can describe things is just fucking shit titties. That is the only thing that can describe my feelings at that moment. And
yeah.
That's just what happens.
I remember I was expecting someone to come by to record some music with me, and they texted me and they're like, traffic is a clusterfuck right now. And I was like, that's very succinct. Like, I completely understand what you mean.
Yeah, like...
There's a lot of it, probably someone going in the wrong lane, like crazy shit, but also like just, general aggravation. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I feel like sometimes I get more offended when people say things like insults that don't involve curse words than I do. Like, if someone's like, fuck you, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Like, I don't get anything from that. But
because it's way more overused.
Yeah. But then when people are like, you are a failure, it's like, holy shit. Like, that hurts. But if someone was like, fuck you, you failure, I'd be like, you said a curse word.
It's like, good, it's no big deal.
I'm not a failure, you're a failure, fuck you. I can just throw that right back. But if someone's just like, you are a failure, I'm like...
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I guess so, because I think it's what is it? Restrictions restrictions breed creativity is what they say. And I think in that manner that is true, because it's like once you like kind of decide, okay, I'm not going to use curse words to like insult people. You can really come up with some great things.
Great in the sense of you will make them feel awful.
Yeah, like just knuckle dragging swamp hag.
Oh, I was just going more for like the you don't matter kind of insults.
Yeah, those two. Well, I guess mine are more names like that you could give people. But yeah. I'm better at that than anything. I'm not really like insults are like.
Calling someone a rat is pretty. That's some sick nasty insult right there. Because when someone called me a rat, I'd be like, fuck. Like,
I think it kind of depends on the context, because I've actually been called a rat by one of my old like. When I was a team lead at my last job, like I had people who were much older than me work under me, and there was one man in particular who did not like that. He was like 50-something, old school man. He
should have applied for a higher
yeah, like he just did not like that I was like
should have applied to be a team lead. You fucking idiot.
Honestly. But he was just like, he called me like a snake and a rat because I don't know. I think I had said something to the supervisor about something he had done that he wasn't supposed to. And I'm just like, that's my job.
Which one did he call you first, if you can remember? Did he call you a snake or a rat first?
I think a snake, because he went on a rant about me being a snake for a good minute.
Okay. See, because like if he called me a snake first and then called me a rat like weeks later, I'd been like, I thought I was a snake, man.
No, this was all in one conversation.
Oh, okay.
This was all in the span of like 5 minutes.
Oh, then yeah, I definitely would have brought it up.
It was like 5 minutes in the break room with everybody singing around except the smokers.
Yeah.
Like we were just
I
singing.
definitely would have been like, I thought I was a snake, bro.
I was just sitting there and I was just like, I was very calm because like I had to be very professional because I was a team lead and I already got in trouble for calling a girl a bitch because she was a bitch. That was like right before I officially became team lead, and my supervisor was like, "Hey, you don't need to do that." And I was like, "But she was being a bitch." I was like, "You just."
Something about having this conversation, just us hanging out for the whole day has like unlocked so many memories of high school that I just shoved away.
I understand, dude. Don't start me on that because there are things I'm still trying to block out in high school. There are things.
There was one time I took a construction class, two construction classes, one my junior year and one my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Technically three because we had fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, for 2 full years I had construction classes, and me and this kid like halfway got into a fight. I think I don't know. I was just like, give me a name for this kid.
Kyle. He just seems like a Kyle. If you
Kyle?
Yeah, you almost got into it, like almost beat his ass.
Hey, go follow my brother on Twitch.
Oh wait.
Twitch.tv/KillerKyle215.
Not only him, but also because like there's actually a dude I know. His name is also Kyle.
Give me a different name.
Yeah, no, we need a different one. Steve.
Steve.
There you
Okay. Steve was kind of like in our circle of friends, but for some reason he was like having a day where he just didn't like any of us. So he like sat at a different table, and we were like, "Yo, what the fuck, Steve?" And I was like, "Steve's a little bitch for not sitting with his friends." You know, like no, I was like
making a joke.
yeah,
man,
but it was also like
fun.
probably a little rude at the time, you know, especially
Yeah.
when you're in high school and like you kind of want to beat up everybody anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kept saying like we just kept Steve's a bitch. You know, like we're sitting in a classroom like trying to be quiet, we're like Steve's a bitch. And then eventually he heard me say it, like I was the last person to say it, and he got up and came over and like put me in a chokehold, and we got into a little scrap. Yeah, and then my teacher was like, you know, he was like, Steve, sit down right here, like, you know, in the front of the classroom or whatever. And then he pulled me out into the hallway, and he's like, what the hell was that about? And I was like, yeah, you know, Steve was just being, or he was like, what started this? I was like, I mean, I called Steve a little bitch. And he's like, well, was he being a little bitch?
No, he did.
I swear to God, that was his exact response.
Like, if I had said that to a teacher, he'd been like, you go to the principal's office. I'll send him in a minute.
He was a construction teacher, man. Like he was,
okay,
he was cool as fuck.
Never mind. Now that okay, with that
God
context,
bless you, man. You know who you are. And to you, Steve. Honest to God, like you're a cool guy. Congrats on the family, by the way. I think he just like had a kid recently or something. We're friends on Facebook. Like he's a cool guy. Okay. But I remember the teacher, his response. Yeah, it was like I called him a little bitch. He's like, "Well, was he being a little bitch?" I was like, "Not really, honestly." He's like, "Then why'd you call him a little bitch?" I was like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "Get in there."
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And then we high fived after that. He was like, "Good scrap." Not me and Steve, me and the teacher. He did not tell the you know resource officer or whatever you call the cop in the school. He didn't tell the principal. Yeah. Oh, you didn't have one of those? Mm. We had one in every school that I ever went to, actually.
How big was your graduating class, though?
Oh, fucking like I think like 1,300.
You want me to put this into like perspective?
How yours is smaller, right?
Mine was 120 something.
Fuck.
I think actually at graduation there was like 130, 140 people total graduating.
Yeah. I think mine minimum like I want to say I always highball it, so like minimum like 900. But yeah, that's still
like that's
a jump.
We were just a small. We had like they actually had like rebuilt the school shortly before I had went in. Like it was I don't know like a couple years, maybe 5 to 10. And like it was a 3-level school. It was 3 levels, and then we had a whole bunch of like outside buildings. Like the gym was completely separate. We had an entire band room that was completely separate, construction, a bunch of different stuff. And we had all of that, and we still had a good like 20 to 25 rooms that were not used for anything.
Damn.
Like no classrooms. They were like desks set up for like a computer room, but there were no computers in it.
Okay.
And then we had like 30, and then we had like a good 15 computer rooms in the entire throughout the entire school.
Okay.
We had so much different stuff, and it was just like
my high school was 2 stories. But in all fairness, the basement was it was like a basement. Was for like the gym and, you know, there was like I think like 3 classrooms down there, but it was mostly a gym and you know like supply closets and shit like that.
Good
But
Lord.
I remember we had there was a weird point in time where my brother was just going into middle school and I was just going into, no, that can't be right. Yeah, he was going into 7th grade. I was going into 4th.
Mhm.
And at the time, they had just built a new middle school and a new elementary school.
Mhm.
Or a new, I don't remember how that was going, actually.
They built new schools.
Yeah, they built new schools, and we both had to go into different, you know,
Okay.
not the point. Oh, dude, I wanted to tell you this because you brought up I'm so sorry.
ADHD.
When we were in the car, 26 minutes. Wow, good for us.
Yeah, doing good.
We were in the car, and you told me a story, and it reminded me, and I was just like, I'm going to save this for the podcast.
Yeah, I remember
We were on our school bus on our way to high school. I think I was in like 9th or 10th grade.
that. Mhm.
Probably 10th. And I remember as we were like driving from whatever the last bus stop was for, the last kid to be picked up
Mhm.
to the school, like when we were on our way from his house to the school, there was like an active shooter report. Someone had like robbed a store or something, or bank, or like some crazy shit nearby.
Good Lord.
And I mean like SWAT team, everything. And we were like, we didn't know what was going on. So we got there late because we had this whole like split bus thing where if one bus couldn't make it, then we picked up other kids. So we were like the last bus to get to the school. And I just remember like it was empty as shit in the parking lot of the school. Usually there's like administrators or something. And we pulled up and my bus driver gets on the little intercom thing and she's like, I need you to put your heads down and run out of the bus and into the school. And we were like, what? And then
Good Lord.
2 cops opened the doors from the inside of the school and we had to run in. And I think
Holy
like
shit.
as we were passing, we heard like a lot of sirens.
Good God.
And obviously, I don't think they were like going for the school. Like I said, I think they like
Yeah.
robbed a store or something
Yeah,
like that.
but nonetheless.
It was just like such a strange,
crazy.
like, why not just like let us like leave us in the bus and like
Yeah,
let us
like-
lay on the floorboards or something,
Yeah, either that or just like have the bus stay away from the school.
or try to like
Like-
direct traffic away from the school.
Something like just.
But I don't know if there's like a cop barricade. Some people think they're brave or they play too much Grand Theft Auto and they're like, I can just drive through this.
Yeah.
So I have a
you're
feeling
not
that wouldn't go
wrong.
super
You're
well.
not wrong.
That's not possible, by the way. Don't drive your car through shit.
Seriously,
You will
please
lose your
don't.
car. Imagine your car is made
And
of
a
glass.
lot of freedom because I'm sure you would. I'm sure you can go to jail for that. I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure they don't like.
I'm
mess
pretty
around.
sure, like, if you were like homeless and like really roughing it, and you just like needed a place to stay, you could probably punch a cop
Mhm.
and then just go to jail.
Yeah, no, that's how some people do it.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yeah. On a slightly maybe not less sad, but like a different note.
On a slightly different kind of sad note,
Yeah. You reminded me because you were talking about the.
this sad is in B minor. Sorry. What were you saying?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be really blunt because it would be funny. My school had my high school had like 2 bomb threats in like throughout my high school years.
Oh, nice.
Like 2 or 3. Like it wasn't technically bomb threats, but like basically I remember one was my junior year, and somebody had basically posted on the official school website like they were like you need to be careful tomorrow at this time or something like that.
Yep.
And like the entire school was just like they all were just don't worry about it. If you don't want to come in, if you don't feel safe coming in, don't come in.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
like they did like I think in total like my the period that I walked to, it was like my 3rd class. That was the one that we actually went to. It was basically the time that was said was in between a class change.
Okay.
So like they let us go a little early so that we can go ahead and get to our next class early, and then they like shut everything down during that time for a few minutes. And in that class, I think there were like 3 of us in total, out of a class of normally 30 people.
Shit.
Like the 3 of us were just like, no, we're gonna come in.
Did
He's
you
like,
get bonus points for showing up and being brave?
I don't.
Dude, I would have, like, I'm sorry. I just made myself angry with that thought because I'm like, imagine if you went to a school when there was a potential bomb threat and your teacher was like, you're brave, you get an extra A+ test
Yeah,
grade.
seriously, like that's pretty
And then
much
if
what
I
it
like
is.
missed that day and came back in and heard someone got extra credit, I would punch my teacher.
Honestly,
Be like, how fucking dare you?
honestly, it's just like you're gonna sit there and say it's like, okay, you guys possibly put your lives at risk. Here's
Yeah.
the next class. Like, no,
No.
I'm good. No.
It's like, yeah, I mean, good for the people who go on Fear Factor and make $100,000, but I'm
Yeah.
not being forced into that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, given most, like, the people who did come in, like, they were mostly just people who were like, this is a small town. We're not going to, because the
Yeah.
entire town, like, that I live in, or that I went, because I technically, in elementary school, once I finished elementary school, I moved down here, like, farther down. And before that, it was, like, more of a suburb city type area, and now it's, like, southern country.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just super little, so there was really no chance of someone actually doing something like, because most people, when most people want to do something like that, they go for like the bigger ones to make bigger, all that
Chaos.
Yeah, more chaos, more publicity, all that.
Yeah.
Like we were, like I said, like I think the entire school had like 500 people in it, maybe 600.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That wouldn't be like comparatively. Like you can go like 30 miles to another school, and it would been like if you 30 miles in a different direction, then do 10 times more.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Here's a story that's not fun.
that one was a fun one.
This one's worse.
Oh,
on
fun.
On the sad. This one's in G flat. No, we had
As long as it's not in A
we had this
minor.
thing where that's a Bo Burnham joke, man. We can't be doing that.
I'm sorry. Ever since you said B minor,
It's
I was
just
just
I
like,
just
had
remember
to.
I got the Bo Burnham joke was he was like acting out masturbating, and he goes like there's like a beautiful classical piano piece playing while he's like faking jerking off, and he goes, "Thank you. That was called jerking off in A minor, the key, not the crime." And like that, and he just moves on. Anyway, sad story. We had a bomb threat that didn't go anywhere. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad happened. No one got hurt. Anything like that. Actually, what happened was like at I think like midnight or something. This kid like was threatening to blow up the school or some crazy shit, and then he was arrested within like 2 hours.
Damn.
So
yeah,
yeah,
because
because like when and he like shared it on Facebook, which yeah.
Like at least with the dude whoever did it with at my school, it was just like, okay, we're gonna like hack into the school website and put it that way.
Yeah.
Like that dude was just like Facebook. That's the best place. Like,
and obviously, like I said, like within I think like 2 or 3 hours, like the morning we were at school, he was in jail.
mm-hmm.
So, and like just in a moment of like, I don't know why this fucking happened. It was in high school. It was in one of my Spanish classes. This girl who was I'll call her kind of a friend. Give me a name for her. Kylie. Okay. Give me a different name. That's her name. I'm just kidding. That's my name. No. That's my brother's name. I'm sorry. You're really on the Kai name.
I am. Like, what is with me today?
Anyway, sorry. Kylie, she was normally a very, like, attentive kind of student, like, really did good in school normally, and just today she had her head down, in her arms or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my Spanish teacher, who was just fucking didn't like her, she was getting mad about it, and she's like, Kylie, lift your head up, pay attention, wake up, kind of doing that, like, I will drop a textbook next to your head kind of thing.
I actually had a teacher do that too.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Just give them a nudge. Anyway, she gets her head up, and you can tell she's been like crying profusely, like her makeup was running and all that stuff. And that's not normally her. She was normally a very like upbeat kind of person. So we were like, oh my god, like, yeah, like what happened? Is everything okay? And she's like, I don't want to be here. I'm scared. I'm gonna die. And we were like, understandable. My teacher first of all was like, oh my god. And it's like, don't fucking say that. Our teacher was more of a child than most of us were in that class.
Oh, jeez.
But we were like, I told her, I was like, he already got arrested. Like there's nothing he can do at this point. She's like, what if he was here last night? And then everyone in the room was just like, oh no. And then just panic ensued. And somehow that got out into the hallways after our class and the whole school. I think we got out like an hour early or like 30 minutes early, because it was just like, okay, since you're still scared, we're going to let you guys go, and we will, sweep the place. And, like I said, everything turned out fine. Nothing happened. But just, like, seeing it from someone, like, it was one of the smartest thoughts that I've heard in a while. Because I was just like, man, like, I don't think anybody thought of that. No one even checked the school. They just went straight to the fucking kid, I have to assume.
Yeah.
And then, like, we were in, like, I don't know, whatever, fourth period, like, maybe noon. So we had, like, 3 more hours of school, and we were just like, fuck. You know? What if Kylie was right? And then, we could still be in some trouble. And then, like I said, like at that point, like there was at least like every corner you turned, someone was like, you know, either freaking out or crying or anything like that. And it's just like, man. And living through that while you're in high school, you know, going through all the puberty shit and the hate your parents and the goth phase or whatever, or the jock phase, I don't know.
Did you know that like the emo is kind of like emo aesthetic is coming back? It's like is actually becoming popular.
Yeah.
Like it's because I remember
It's because of me.
It's because of me. It's not that great.
Check us out. We have almost 30 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
I saw we got a new subscriber the other day.
Yeah.
It's really weird because like we haven't posted anything in a while, and then I just saw the little notification bell, and I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, actually.
I thought it would have been just like one of my friends just like posting a fucking meme on our comment section on one of our videos or something. But it's like we got a new subscriber, and I was like, "Oh, dope, thanks, dude. Whatever your name is."
I've been like telling people.
Please tell your friends.
Honestly, I've been like, hey, everybody who I would like talk to is like,
you are not good enough. We need more. We are a cult. Every time I hit the table, everything just like does a little wiggle. Can you like stand your phone up so it'll? No, don't try.
My brain's just like I can try.
No. There's a thing, man. I should have picked it up. I don't know if you saw it in our room back there. One of my brother's friends has like a 3D printer, and he made this little thing. He 3D printed it where it's like a stand for your phone. So you can like set your phone sideways and it'll like
I seen it.
And I was like, dude, that's fucking genius. He sells them for like $5. I wish he had like an Etsy or something because I could be like, bro,
that'd be great.
Yeah, because I saw one. I was like, dude, I fucking want one of these. And Kyle's like, my friend made it. And I was like, what do you mean he made it? And he's like, yeah, he has a 3D printer. He just fucking. Dude. I don't know how 3D printers work. I'm assuming you have to like draw it or program it or something.
I think you program it. Yeah, like you basically like I think you use an application on your computer or something and you design it out basically, and then it'll print it out the way you need it.
I wish we could do that for videos.
Dude, that'd be badass.
Program a whole fucking script and how the shot looks and everything. We'll get there eventually, man.
Yeah, eventually.
There's some crazy shit like people have like used AI programming to like. I saw God, we're gonna plug a different podcast. The TMG podcast. They had a fan who made an AI watch all of their episodes and then print out like a script, and then they had like Microsoft Sam read it or something like that. And it was just like, I don't know, it was like half a page of an inside joke, so I don't know if he really went through the effort of making an AI for it, but it was kind of funny to think like people actually can do that. You know, they can program things to like watch movies and then write scripts based on it, and
it's
or like
it's very crude.
I don't know if you've seen AI Dungeon. Yeah, same deal with that. It is kind of like sometimes it still fucks up, but
we're seeing one that was like I made it watch all the Saw movies, and then write a script for it, and it was you could definitely tell it was an AI trying to do something.
Yeah, no, that's the fun part of it though. There's this AI Dungeon thing where it plays like a text adventure, but it just keeps making a story based on what you do. It's really fucking interesting, and like I said, there's a lot. People fuck with it obviously, and it's kind of based on like how many people use it and what they're trying to do. So a lot of it just like turns into porn because people are just like sad and horny, I guess, and they're just like, I want to fuck, and they type it into their computer. But so yeah, you can go down that rabbit hole on that if you want to, but it is pretty cool to like. So not the porn part, but like if you play it the conventional way of just like you're like a fantasy, knight or whatever, and it kind of does like make up a story as you go, and it just keeps. Spitting out things just to keep you interested.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of something. It's this is gonna be like it's called the SCP Foundation. I've told you about it before, not on the podcast, but if you haven't heard of that, really fucking if you like horror mostly, it's a really cool thing that you can look up. Like I said, SCP Foundation. It's a website. You can look it up on YouTube. Everything.
A foundation.
Yeah. Well, it's not like a real.
I was gonna say it's not like a non-profit.
No, it's not. It's not a real thing. It's like all. It's like a.
It's like community-driven kind of blog almost.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's community-driven. Like everybody, you basically there's forums, there's official articles, everything that you can do, and basically though, an SCP is an item that does things that it's not supposed to be able to. Okay. And one of them is a book that I think it's a book that you open it up, you read it, and then when you close it or something, the next time you go to sleep, it'll like this person comes in, like this man comes in, and basically he is able to control the dream, and he will give you like an adventure, like an old a D&D style adventure and everything that you can like you live out in your dream.
Okay.
And whenever you can 8 hours is like 50 years in the dream. So it's like this really cool thing, and it's such an I don't remember the number of it. I don't remember the name of it. None of that. They have numbers and names, so you can look it up.
Yeah, that's always been the thing that bothers me, where people are just like, look up SCP like 239, and I'm like, okay, but I don't know which one that is, and why can't you give me like a title for it? Imagine if someone was like, yo, go listen to song 308. What?
Is it bad that I'm kind of just like, wait, do I know that one?
I was wondering. I saw the look on your face. I was like, don't fucking try to tell me which one.
No,
it is.
I was like, you said 29. You said 29. I was like, wait a minute, I think I know that one. Because like I do, like I know
How
a lot.
many are there, by the way? Is it like thousands or like?
There's up to. I think they just had the contest for the 6,000 one, so there should be around 7,000.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like they're and they do it in series. So like there's series 1, which are the original 1,000 that were done, and then there's series 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. And like you can definitely tell like from 1 to like the first few, like the first series is definitely like more crude and more beginner compared to the rest of them.
Oh yeah, they become like practiced craft almost.
Yeah, like the later ones become almost more story-like. They're much longer and you get more details with them. While the first ones, like I remember the very first one is actually 179, the sculpture. It's the Weeping Angels of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
Same basic concept.
Okay.
That's the thing. And then there's like 682, the hard to destroy reptile. It's literally just a giant lizard that can't be killed whatsoever. There's no way of doing it. It used to live in a big tub of acid its whole life. That's how it lived its life. And like that's that one. And then like I think it was 5,000. That one came out last year. That was the big one. That was the big contest. And that one is an entire story about the Foundation, which is all about capturing anomalies and making sure that humanity is okay. Completely swapping on that and just deciding, fuck humanity, you're all gonna die now.
Nice.
And it is. So that's the transition from like the first few to some of the most recent ones.
Yeah. I love seeing stuff progress like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it's easy with like if you deep dive on a band's like discography.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that with Architects. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah.
They were heavy as fuck. Not to say that they're not now, but like comparatively, they definitely were a lot heavier in the past. I think I recommended them. You have any recommendations for this podcast?
Well, since you brought up Architects and doing a deep dive on them, I think I'm going to bring up just like I want to do a deep dive on a Steam Powered Giraffe.
Okay.
Because I've shown you a couple of songs by them, and I really like. I jumped in about 4 albums in, and I never really listened to the first few. Like I listened to a handful of songs from, but I never properly like sat down and listened to a lot of them. And they have a lot of new stuff that I also haven't listened to, and I'm like, okay, I just want to sit down and really learn what this band is.
Yeah.
Is all has put through. Because they've gone through a couple different iterations, like they've went through a couple band members and all that type of thing. So it's really cool to see the transition as they go through.
Man, I really love. This is gonna sound fucking awful. I really love like every once in a while if I find like a new band or something, I'll see if they have like a Wikipedia page just to like quickly glance through like what they've been about and stuff like that.
Okay. It's actually not a bad idea.
There's always like people are so smart that they came up with this. There's always like a timeline of like when people were in the band. So there'll be like markers for like either the year when they came out with an album, and then it'll just be like a bar for like what instrument they played and how long they were in the band. And you can always see like there's a couple bands, especially rock bands or metal bands, where like the bass player, the fucking camera just shut off. Are you fucking kidding me?
I hope that it did not.
Audio's still running, so that's. I mean,
so we can at the very least sit there and
keep this in.
Yeah, we can keep the audio in.
What the fuck just happened with our camera? Battery's fine. Something was stuck to my thumb. Card full. Ooh.
I wonder how long that's been that way.
Oh, we probably still have like the last 2 podcasts on there. Fuck it, it's audio only for the next 20 minutes or however long.
Oh yeah, we'll just like put the logo in the back. Just like,
yeah.
So it'll be fun.
It'll be Jeff Bezos' face like last time. I hope I still have that PNG. I worked really hard to green screen it. I think actually when I found that PNG on like Google Images or whatever, it was already his face without a background. I was like, someone already went through the trouble to do this, man.
Dude, let's be honest with ourselves. There's plenty of people who want to do something with Jeff Bezos' face.
Man, I saw there's this really cool thing I saw on Reddit where someone had taken the the Call of Duty No Russian thing.
Mm.
It was like the very controversial mission where you like walk into an airport and like kill a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah.
Dark as shit, but someone fucking keyed in a green screen so that when the elevator doors open, it's just green screen. And I'm like, you are a god, because that must have taken at 60 frames per second. They individually green screened out each fucking frame of that. That had to have taken forever. And and it was clean as fuck too. It looked good. I kind of want to use it as part of the intro because that shit was fucking cool.
That would be cool. We were just talking about we don't do intros, and then
Yeah.
just have that as the intro.
Have this massive intro with the table and the.
Yeah, and then it transitions into that, and then it just like. Wait,
Oh, fuck.
We'll fade to black on this one, and then the beginning of the next one will just be like, the opening of Skyrim.
You're finally awake. Someone made a fucking another fucking thing I saw like right when Fallout 4 was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a trailer for like Fallout 4, and they're like, oh, it's like the first hour of gameplay or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there it goes again. If that didn't record, or if it didn't keep the file for like what we have already recorded, then the whole thing's just gonna be audio only, and we're just gonna be like, oh fuck, the camera died. Like way deep into the podcast.
Yeah, we'll just be deep in the podcast. It's like, oh shit, it died, and then
Anyway.
the people listening is like, what?
Yeah. I'll put a little intro thing just to start it off.
Just to explain, like, hey,
Yeah,
thing
camera died. But yeah, it was this thing where it was like the first part of Fallout 4 where this isn't a spoiler. Like it starts before the war, and like the bombs are going off, and you're like going down into the vault.
Yeah.
And like what it does is it, your character like puts his hand up over his face to like shield him from the light, and then it flashes to white, and then it
and then
loads
it goes, oh
you're
my.
in the vault. But yeah, in the meme, it flashed into you waking up in fucking Skyrim. And they're like, yeah, it's the first official gameplay of Fallout 4, and it just went to, oh, you're finally awake, and it just cut. I knew it was gonna be a meme because when I first like pulled it up, it was like, I don't know, like 30 seconds long. So I'm like, obviously it's not like a full gameplay.
Yeah, it's obviously not an hour long.
Yeah, or
like,
whatever the fucking title was. Yeah, it's like Fallout 4 gameplay finally revealed. I'm like, it's 30 seconds. This has to be a fucking meme. And that one was worth it. That was pretty good because I'm like, that seems like some shit that Bethesda would do.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just by the way, Skyrim again.
That's honest.
Fuck you, buy it on PlayStation 5. You can't buy one anyway. Microchip shortage.
Damn.
By the way, that's the most bizarre shit, and that's going to affect us for the next, 20 years. During COVID, they had to shut down production of microchips, which means you can't put them in cars, you can't put them in cell phones, you can't put them in computers. Like, a lot of stuff. And, it's like, no matter what you do, unless, you just make every fucking factory a microchip factory, we're going to be behind for a long time, because they made billions a day.
Yay.
That's so fucking crazy to think about.
That is. And you know what's
COVID ruined gaming, okay?
COVID ruined a lot of things.
COVID ruined art, to be honest. Oh, I don't know about that, actually, because people did, the live stream concerts.
Yeah, people still did a lot of, art-related stuff. And they
also, whoever could do it, from their home definitely released an album.
Yeah.
I think I at least released a single.
Oh, you meant music as well.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was thinking art in general. I know a lot of people
physical or visual art, I should say.
Yeah, visual art as well. That's what I was mostly thinking. But yeah, with music especially too, it's that really hurt music though, I guess.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we had a whole thing, a whole bill. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it got passed, where it was a lot of COVID relief money started going to live venues and stuff because Atlanta is thriving in that kind of nature.
Yeah.
It's we can't have the Tabernacle open, so the Tabernacle is going to go out of business, and that's one of the biggest fucking venues in Atlanta.
Yeah, and they're just fuck that.
Yeah, and it's just for some reason they just didn't get any money, and we were like, bro, that's business, bro.
Yeah,
that's helping us.
I think it's probably the same reason why schools prefer to give money to the sports programs, because they think it makes more money in that. But I mean, realistically, I think
yeah, because people go to football games way more than or at least down here they do.
Yeah.
Way more high school football games are gone to rather than band events and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they should fund, or at least the state of Georgia should fund, more I was about to say secular music. That means not religious. They should fund more contemporary styles of music. They should have school bands that are pop or rock bands or whatever you want to call
I
it.
agree, like because the only part of the reason why I didn't ever do band myself was because I didn't know how to do brass. And then it was basically just drums,
Yeah.
percussion, and it's like
It can. I don't.
It-
I
you
don't
like-
think I'd ever play like a marching snare or anything like that.
I will not do. I would no, not much.
We had in our high school band. I mean, they had like a drum line and percussionists and stuff, but there were some events where they just had a drum kit.
Mhm.
And kid who played the drums was super cool. Shout out to you, bro. Please subscribe. While we're shouting people out, man. Any more? Why am I not thinking of the fucking word? I just said it earlier.
You did.
Recommendations.
Recommendations, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I can't think of anything news. I haven't really like, as of late, I'm pretty much just been in the same little boat of like, just, I don't know, like I've been listening to the like Reddit readings and
Yeah.
Magic podcast, and that's it. That's pretty much all I've been doing, and then listening to music.
Oh, I'll say, since you brought up Reddit, r/listen to this. That's a really cool subreddit where it's just like
That's a
people
good
can
one.
post either their own bands or like friends' bands, just bands that aren't. I mean, like some of them are like super successful and stuff,
Yeah,
but then some
like-
of them have like 600 views, and you're like, you could find a new fucking. I think that's
Yeah.
how I found Microwave actually.
All
I think
right.
was through Reddit.
Yeah.
I recommend Microwave. They're a band, some good old Georgia boys
That is a good
doing the good old Georgia thing.
Yeah.
If you like, somber kind of adult rock, their album Much Love is really good. My mic stand is shaking and it's bothering the hell out of me. Or if you want more like noisy, kind of like crazy rock shit, they have an album called Death is a Warm Blanket. And that's pretty apt to what the fucking music sounds like. Ah, man. Anything else?
All I can think of.
We got 8 minutes, man.
Yeah, we do.
We're not doing so hot.
We did
We
pretty.
didn't
like-
even release the last podcast, by
We
the way. I
didn't.
kind of just like I was just like, dude, fuck this.
Yeah, you kind of just like let it just. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, at the same time, we weren't really the same like energy that we were in the first one.
Yeah.
But I
Because
think
the way we're doing it is wrong. We need to do the podcast immediately.
we do because that gives us the least amount of time to talk in the first place.
Yeah.
Then we're not burned out by the end of the night when we're.
I was thinking about it. I was like, when we were on our way back from when I picked you up, on our way back here, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, what if we tell all of the stories that we want to tell, and then we sit in front of the camera and we're just like, yeah, like an hour ago I told you about this thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you again.
Yeah.
Which would be fine for, an audience or whatever, but I don't know. I couldn't imagine like kind of like reenacting the
Mhm.
story. It's like,
Yeah,
oh wow,
it's
I'm
that
hearing this
first-
for the first time.
Yeah.
Or like you said, it'd be like, or like I said, it'd be like, hey, I told you this like 40 minutes ago or whatever, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell it again for the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I will say, like, I know one thing I didn't mention that I kind of do because you had said something. So yeah, technically, one reason that we also have not posted another like podcast episode is because I have not been able to come up,
Oh yeah.
get my way up to here to record because I live like an hour away from the Teller here. So the reason being was that one day I went to work and I was just like feeling like crap. I felt like shit, did not want to be there, and I just decided at the first break I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home, and just get some rest and be okay, and whatever.
Yeah.
And I drive home and I'm like 5 minutes away from my house, and I start hearing the ditch over to my right talking shit about my mama, and I can't let that happen. So I teach it a lesson and drive my car into it.
Yo, that ditch got fucking wrecked.
Yeah, that ditch got fucked up. But
So did your car.
Yeah, but so did my car, and now I can't drive it because I had to take it to the shop. So yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said,
It's your boy.
it was disrespecting my mama, and like most, you can't.
As
can't let
ditches
that happen.
tend to do. And you know what they say, man? Ditches gets. Don't listen to me, man.
I just realized what you said.
Yo, yeah, I said it. Please subscribe, man.
Ditches are snitches who get
Hey,
stitches.
guy who subscribed like a couple weeks ago.
Ooh, even
Please
be-
don't unsubscribe.
Even better, ditches are bitches who.
Oh,
ditches
no.
are.
This is
Fuck.
turning into like a Hollywood Undead song, and I don't want to fucking hear it.
Dude, I swear I love them sometimes. Sometimes when I'm in the mood, that is like my thing.
I can't do it.
I
It's
understand.
always been they've been one of those bands where it's like if they were like touring with another band that I like, I'd be like, okay, I'll go and see the headlining band or
Mm-hmm.
whichever one it is, the one that's not Hollywood Undead, and while they're performing, I'll go and get food.
I understand. I 100% understand because they're definitely one of those bands where it's like you have to have like you just can't. I don't know how to describe it. You just definitely it's not for everybody though.
It's almost like to me it kind of reminds me of like ICP, where it's like almost like a lifestyle thing, where it's like if that's your kind of music,
Yeah,
you're kind of in like the same boat. I think they actually had a song where they were
and it's weird
one
because
was featuring on the other or something like that.
it's weird. I actually don't like ICP. Like, because I think it's because I like 3 songs by like Hollywood Undead. I think and that's it.
Yeah,
Maybe 4 because I think Bullet was also by them.
they have their most popular song, Undead, is
Oh,
literally like the keyboard part in that song that plays like throughout the entire thing is literally just Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Like it's the same notes and everything. I think it might be in like
wow.
a slightly different key,
Yeah.
but like
See, I don't think of that. I don't think of Undead. I think of Everywhere I Go
oh yeah.
because that one's the one that gets me. Because that one's the one that's been memes. It gets memed so hard because it's just like, music nowadays is just so like trashy and just so bad. It's just all swearing, all about like sex and everything, and then it's just that song starts playing. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's
It's like one of those moments where you're like, no, I'll prove it, and you hit like shuffle through your liked songs on Spotify, and like a song called like "Sex, Drugs, and Fucking Bitches" comes on, and you're like, well, never mind, you got me. Song
See,
one was definitely a bust on that.
see, that's my thing because like a lot of my, admittedly, a lot of my, not a lot, but some of my music is just about random things like that.
Yeah.
Like. And it's so bad because, and it's not even all of it. Like I have songs, a couple songs about sex. I have a lot of country music that's just about like drinking beer and drinking alcohol. And then I have like just rock music from
You
like
have
2013.
"Make Damn Sure" by Taking Back Sunday about stalking a woman. Uh,
Actually, I have a song called "Unhealthy Obsession" that's all about stalking. But the difference is that it's I think, first it's about a woman stalking a man, and then it's about a man stalking a woman. So it's both ends. It's not just one sided.
Yo,
Equality.
y'all go listen to Eddie and Sin. Don't do that. Um, oh, fucking! I don't think I've ever talked about Bayside on an episode of
I
this.
don't. Not that I can remember now.
Bayside, modern rock band from New York. They fucking kill it. They're on tour for 21 years of extra bad luck or something like that. Uh, yeah, they had their 20-year anniversary on 2020. So they had like the 20 years of bad luck tour all planned out, and then COVID. So they're just like, okay, they like crossed out the 0 and wrote a 1, and like scratched out something.
Pretty much what I
It's
do.
like they crossed out bad and wrote the worst or something like that. It's 21 years of the absolute worst luck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see him live. I will quit everything to go see them again. They fucking kill it. They're a great band. Highly recommend them. All of their music is really really good.
Oh yeah, like
Very good
some-
songwriting, great lyricism. If
Mhm.
you're a guitar player, you'll like the lead guitar parts. If you're a bass player, that's cool. I gotta stop.
Bass is an instrument.
Yeah.
So many.
Fuck you,
inside
Nick
jokes.
Nocturnal. You got me thinking that all the time. Also, please subscribe, Nick. Big fan of your
Dude,
content.
honestly, just start shouting out the YouTubers like that. That's how you get subscribers. You start shouting out the big ones that you like, and then they'll eventually.
And then I'll
notice you.
put
They'll
if I
eventually-
were a real piece of shit, I would put like in parentheses in the title, just like featuring Nick Nocturnal.
JK, and then just JK.
No, like that's some
No?
hardcore. Like people do that shit where they'll like vlog somewhere in LA and be like, "Oh look, I found Will Smith. Say what's up, Will." And he's just like, "Hey man," and then he'll put featuring Will Smith in the video. Not that that's specifically what happened, but it is that very like they talk to a celebrity for 5 seconds and they're just like, "Wow, this person's in the video. Check it out."
I'm glad I don't. I'm mostly on the gaming side of YouTube. I'm on the gaming side, and then the SCP and Magic. That's what I see on YouTube. That's it.
Do we count that? Do we count Magic as gaming? I would say yes.
I guess it is a
Not
card
video
game.
games, but it is.
It is a
gaming.
card game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess so. So yeah, I just basically stick with the gaming and the horror and Reddit.
I need to get into horror YouTube stuff because I like horror movies and video games, but like
Some of it is so good. I can send you like some if you want like some good creepypasta-esque things. That they're not the old school like really badly written. They're actually really well written. Like
Yeah.
you can tell like someone who actually has done writing before.
Do you have a YouTube horror recommendation?
A few actually. Like
Don't say Corpse Husband.
no,
Sorry, bud.
well, Creeps McPasta, obviously.
Creeps McPasta.
Yeah.
What a fucking name.
It was
like
Creeps
that.
McPasta. He's like the big creepypasta reader. Like I think it's like every day he uploads one.
Nice.
And some of them are like, and a lot of them are 30, 45 minutes to an hour long.
Oh yeah, that's
like
good stuff.
Top tier.
Nice.
SCP is horror, so and there's a few of those that are like pretty good. There's SCP readings. There's the Volgan. The Exploring series is one of my personal favorites.
Okay.
He does more than just SCP. He does like basically he just takes a subject and he does basically like a deep dive of it.
Okay.
So like he did stuff for like Warhammer,
Oh, nice.
D&D, SCP. He does some history stuff. Like he did one for the Zodiac Killer and different stuff.
Nice.
Like he does. He does not stick to one specific thing. He does like a big wide variety of different things, and it's
this
really nice.
fucking just went like a nail through my head. There was who's the 16th century guy that killed all the women? Jack the Ripper?
Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
I thought he was 18. I thought he was 18.
Probably.
I think he's like 19th century, 1800, like late 1800s in the England, if I'm not mistaken.
Regardless, though, there was a gameplay footage that came out for a game where you played as Batman, and you were trying to find Jack the Ripper.
Ooh.
And it was the weirdest shit in the world, but it was like, it was one of the first games where you could like use a grappling hook to get onto buildings and stuff like that. It was like old like PS2 kind of stuff, but
all right.
I was like, what a fucking concept. Why don't you bring that back into the forefront?
That is one thing I want to do. I want to go back, like if I were, because making a game would be pretty fun. We've talked about it.
So much work.
Like we've because we're both ADHD, and we'll just be like, that sounds like a cool idea, and we'll sit there and talk about it, but we really like at least
maybe it never comes to light.
Yeah, like we kind of realized like no, that would take a lot of time and effort, and like we don't have any of that.
A lot of sketches we've come up with where it's just like I still want to do a lot of them, but it's just like we'll get to it.
Like it's like you have to sit there and you have to plan the time, and then you end up doing other things. Like say we have like an entire list of things, and it's just podcasts.
We have like probably a book's worth of just like shit that we want to do.
Yeah, we have a lot,
and we're gonna do it all.
We will eventually. And once my car
episode 1 of 7,000, except we're on like I don't know, video 40 or something. Maybe not even that many.
Something like that.
Anyway,
way. We'll get there though. We'll eventually get there.
All right, go away.
Okay, bye.
No, not you. Them.
Oh.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Greg, stop smoking weed. Turn off the video. Dude, I'm sick of your shit. Go away. Goodbye. Goodbye. We're done now. Go away. Sorry, Gregs. Yeah, that's it. Fuck it. I don't care.